Hello and welcome, everybody. Looks like at the moment I'm on my own. I'm waiting for my guest, the lovely Sharon Kelly, to join us. While we're waiting for her, I will just set the scene as I do always and remind everybody that these sessions are for you every Wednesday at 2:30 UK time, 3:30 for me, Central European time. I'm here to answer your questions about accreditation, why accreditation status matters, what's so important about accreditation. So whether you are an individual looking to work with a coach and or mentor and wonder how working with an accredited practitioner just helps safeguard your investment in your coaching or mentoring needs, or whether you're considering adding coaching and or mentoring to your skill set and thinking, well, how can I train? Who should I train with? How do I find a training provider? Then I'm ideally placed to answer those questions, whether you're wanting to hire somebody or whether you're wanting to train as a coach and or mentor. As an accreditation body, we have obviously a directory profile full of international training providers. Not all of them are on there. So usually a student will write to me with a brief and I will forward that brief on to the training providers and they will respond directly to your requirements. Maybe you're a coach or mentor already and it's you've just sort of stumbled across this Facebook Live and thinking, how is accreditation really going to help me make a difference and get more clients? Well, of course, one of the best approaches is to be putting yourself out there in a way that's of how can I be of service? And that's going to attract the clients, creating that positive exchange of energy. But as we know, particularly since COVID, coachees rather, are presenting ever more increasingly sophisticated and complex requirements. Mental health being at the top of that. And, you know, if they're going to protect their mental health and well-being and their hard-earned cash, then we're encouraging them to work with training providers, training providers and work with accredited practitioners who are properly trained, have served their apprenticeship, have a good number of hours of experience under their belt, and who are insured if the country offers insurance, and who are independently and professionally accredited. That means you've been assessed, that your evidence portfolio has been validated and authenticated, and then you're invited to join our directory, which gives a huge amount of confidence to the hiring public. Maybe you're a training provider in a university who's offering coach training to the next generation of coaches and thinking, how's this going to help me attract more international paying students? Well, accreditation, as I say, is one of those key differentiators that the public are increasingly looking for. So that's kind of the remit, just setting the scene. I'm hoping Sharon will join us very shortly. Let me just see if there's any messages from her. On Zoom live. Now, no pressure, waiting for you. So Sharon's, like all my guests, very interesting. She's an interpersonal executive coach for cross-cultural clients. She, like me, has been suffering with bronchitis. So hence the croaky voice and the little bit of the cough. But hopefully Sharon will be joining us soon. She's going through her accreditation at the moment for accredited fellow coach and mentor. So the highest level that you can be, a fellow of an institute. I know that doesn't mean a lot in Asia and some Northern European countries, but in the UK it does. And she's a coach and mentor. So hopefully we will be meeting her very shortly. Let me see, what else can I say about her? Oh, and she's got a client-facing signature program that's going through accreditation, so we look forward to hearing more about that too. So if you've any questions, you're a member of the public thinking, well, you know, it's a long time since I created my New Year's resolutions and they've completely gone out the window, whether it's personal or professional, and I need some help with those, a coach or a mentor could help you. Or you're interested in adding coaching and or mentoring to your skill set and you want to know how to do that. Or you're already a training provider, training the next generation of coaches. You've got some questions. Now is your time to enjoy a cup of coffee and ask me your questions. So my VA, Gillian, is on the mobile and she will forward your questions on to me. Okay. Any questions, Gillian, please let me know. Okay, so what can I talk about while we're waiting for Sharon to join us? I've talked about the importance of accreditation. So perhaps I could talk to you about the process. I've mentioned before that we're capabilities based rather than competencies based. We love it. Our members really do appreciate the fact that it's very accurate, it's inclusive, it's holistic, and it's fast. It normally takes people about 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, 2 to 6 weeks on average to get their evidence portfolio together and gain their accreditation status, which is great PR when you're looking for more clients. So what else can I say about the process? Very little written work, you'll be pleased to know. That's one of the things I always hear. Oh, I've got thousands of hours and I haven't kept a coaching log. That's absolutely fine. What we do is we do a simple calculation. How many hours on average per week are you coaching and or mentoring? Times it by 48 weeks of the year. Nobody works every single week of the year. And then you times it by the number of years that you've been coaching and or mentoring. So that gives us a rough calculation of your hours. And because we're capabilities based, you're going to have a live coaching assessment. It's not a role play. You're not going to be submitting a thesis. It doesn't matter how much you know about the theory of coaching. It's can you deliver a great coaching session? That's what we want to hear. And we'll hold your hand every step of the way and give you all the information you need to prepare. You don't go into your session blind. So let me just call up a slide so I can show you what this is like in reality. So share my screen, share screen. There we go, current slide. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So I'm just going to very quickly talk you through the process, hopefully, while we're waiting for Sharon to join us. So the first session is really just a quick discussion about what are your individual needs and expectations? What are you aiming for? What are your plans? And then I can introduce you to the correct level. So we have 4 levels, as you can see here. We have practitioner, we have senior, master, and fellow. Fellow, as I've already explained, is fellow of the Institute. It's the highest level. And we're hours based, which is no surprise being capabilities based. It's can you actually do it? So at an entry level, a practitioner is going to have about 60 hours specific training and 60 practical hours. Now, this can be study buddy, friends, family, pro bono. Obviously, when you move into senior and above, we would expect that 80% of your clients are paid clients. So you have a real business. We have 2 routes to accreditation. ATPCR, which is the accredited training provider coach route, or it could be the mentor route. And then we have the portfolio route. So the ATCPR is when you've trained through one of our accredited training providers, and we have plenty all around the world to choose from. Now, because they've had their course accredited, they've invested in having their material, their course, certification, all independently verified by us. Their students benefit from a faster track, reduced fee option to their personal accreditation status. So that's why there's a differentiator in the fees. If you're coming through the portfolio route, so for instance, this could be you've worked in the forces and you've been a coach or a mentor for many years, maybe it's in-house in a corporate environment, you haven't been on a formal coach training program, certainly not one that's accredited by the IAPC&M, we need to do a little bit more work with you. And there will be an interview as well. So the portfolio is kind of like a catch-all for anybody who's not come through the accredited training provider route. And we're hours based, as I said, so 60 hours at entry level, 750 hours for a senior, 150,000, 1,500 plus for a master, and 2,500 plus to become a fellow. If you've been on an accredited training provider route, you benefit from that discount for the lifelong journey of being a practitioner. So you can move up the ranks to a senior and still get the discount. Obviously, there's more discounts that will apply because you're already a member. And moving on a couple of years later to master and so on. Okay, so that's step one, deciding your route, whether it's portfolio or accredited training provider route. Excuse me. What level, whether it's practitioner, senior, master, or fellow. And you can see the annual renewal fees are substantially reduced. And that is to maintain your membership benefits and receive your updated annual certificate every year. Okay. I'm not going to go into the criteria because it's quite small to see, and it's exactly the same as what's on the website anyway, and it would be exactly the same as our head of professional accreditation, David Monroe-Jones, would be asking for in your email when you've paid your invoice, which you can pay either online or by PayPal invoice. It's entirely up to you. And then the fourth step is you'll get a nice warm welcome with all the help that you need to complete your evidence portfolio, including all these masterclasses and an invitation to book your live assessment call. As I said to you, we're capabilities based, which means it is a live coaching assessment. It's exactly what you're doing day to day with your clients. We make the assumption that we've already had the intake session. We go straight into a 30-minute live coaching assessment if you're a practitioner. So because you've had all of those calls, you know in advance exactly what we're looking for. We're holistic. So if you've created a model or an acronym from your name, you know, it doesn't have to be the traditional models like Tigro or Oscar or etc. We're totally open to that. So if you're senior or above, you have an interview as well. So the only piece of written work you're going to do is a self-reflection. How did that call go? What did I learn from the feedback from the assessor? What would I do differently next time? That's an important part of your next piece of CPD. Now, as having the accreditation, I kind of think of it as like the cherry on the cake. You've taken your body of evidence to an independent third party. They've authenticated, verified, and assessed it. And it adds a huge amount of credibility to you. It's a massive boost to your confidence. And it tells you where you need to plug some gaps. And that's where the CPD comes in. Okay. And then the next step is to promote your certificate and your logo anywhere and everywhere, your email signature, online, your online profiles, etc. And then it's all about basking in the glory of doing this. Let's face it, this is not a regulated industry. So we're volunteering to put ourselves through this because we want to be best in class practitioners. We feel very passionately that the welfare of our client is uppermost in our mind. So it's all about the standards. And then you'll upload your profile into the international directory, and you can use this e-guide, how to choose your coach or mentor, on your own website. If a client is interviewing you and maybe one or two other coaches or mentors, you might want to point them in the directory of how to choose your coach or mentor. So it's a complimentary e-guide that will help your clients make a decision. And of course, at the end, it's saying, check they are independently assessed, and you are. So you're giving them that reassurance. And then the final step is all the rah, rah, rah on social media. And maybe you want to have a YouTube interview. Maybe you want to create some personalized adverts. Whatever you want, we will organize that for you in addition to your little splash. So that's a very quick recap on the accreditation process. So Gillian, my lovely, are there any questions? Okay, how is the IAPC&M different to other accreditation bodies? Well, there's a lot of accreditation bodies for you to choose from. There's some that are country specific, some are international, and some are international like ourselves. I think one of the things that I would say about, well, there's a few things that make us different, is that we're organized and run by a team of volunteers. That's the way that we were set up originally, not for profit. And it was with the end user in mind, first do no harm. So we're very, very passionate about the end user. We're not a community that's like ka-ching, 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 how many coaches have we signed up this week? We don't have shareholders to report to that are interested in our figures. For us, it's all about the service. How can we be of service? How can we make a difference today? And it's about protecting the end user from people who are not properly trained, who are not independently accredited, who are not insured, who haven't served their apprenticeship and got the practical experience they need to facilitate a great coaching session that's going to move the client from A to B. We're the only accreditation body approved by the British Industry Ombudsman, and our members consistently tell us that we are the most caring, sharing, practical, hands-on resource available because of what's on offer in the secure members area. So let me just go and see if I can get to that slide. Okay, so one of the other things is that we are super passionate about CPD. You know, we're not a training provider. We don't have anything to sell. Our core business is accreditation. That's our business. But we also recognize that for a lot of practitioners out there, they get their certificate, maybe with a distinction on a Friday night, and they're super excited because it's now me PLC. It's my business. I'm a solopreneur. But at some point over the next couple of weeks, they're thinking, how do I do this? How do I create a business? How do I get a return on my training investment? That's where we come in. So we help our students study, who are studying on a program, to build their business. So they build the business with us while they're studying. How do we do that? We provide a huge amount of CPD. So we have a 12 modular self-teach business program, the business of coaching. There's a live business clinic every month. We have a book review club, so you can read more books in less time. If having a book is important to you, we've got an author's interview series. We do all the PR and social media support that you want us to, a huge amount of personal and professional support. And you're part of an international community, a like-minded community. Every single week, you are going to get a weekly bulletin offering something for you personally and or professionally. So it doesn't stop once you've paid your invoice. For every week, week in, week out, we are there to support you, not just personally, but also professionally, to grow your business. So I think that probably, in essence, answers that question. And how will accreditation benefit my coaching career? If you're a professional coach, then, as I've just outlined, and you can see on this slide, there's a huge amount of support that will help you develop your coaching business. If you're working for an employer and you're an in-house coach, there's a huge amount of support that will help you grow your coaching skills, and your career. And that's all communicated through the weekly bulletin. And how to, and attracting clients. Well, of course, we've been doing this for 25 years. So we have platforms that will help you grow your business faster than you would on your own. So for instance, we will interview you for our podcast, Both Sides of the Coin. We'll do YouTube videos with you if you brought out a book or a client-facing signature program. And by the way, our members can have their client-facing signature program. It doesn't matter what it is, how it's delivered, how long it's for, you can have that accredited. It's only a benefit to IAPC&M members because we know you. So it could be you're a divorce coach or a history coach or a relationship coach or a career coach. If you've created a program, whether it's a 6-week online program or a weekend course live, you can have that accredited. So it will also stand out in a very crowded market. You can run a masterclass. We will design and promote your event and host it. So you have lots of opportunities to showcase your work. Okay. So it doesn't look like Sharon is able to join us today. So let me just see what the time. Oh, Sharon has just joined us. Let me stop. Let me stop screen sharing and let Sharon into our call. Hello, Sharon. Welcome. You're on mute.
Okay, I am here. Thank you so much, and thank you for the nudge. I was thinking this was March 19th for some reason.
Oh.
I got an invite for March 19th and accepted that, and then I didn't have an invite in my calendar. So is it just the two of us right now, or is it a
We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah, we're live streaming.
Okay.
I sent you a reminder last night that it was today, didn't I?
I had a long night last night, so I don't see my email sometimes late at night.
Don't worry. I did say
anyway, I'm here.
We've both been suffering with bronchitis as well, so lots of sleepless nights with coughing, etc. So I think we can be forgiven for that. But I've whiled away most of our time because this is just a half-hour slot. We've only got a few minutes left. So I think what we'll do, Sharon, is we'll rebook it because this is a session, a midweek session for half an hour, 3:30 Central Time till 4 o'clock. And there's only a couple of minutes until it's 4 o'clock. But it's early for you, isn't it?
Okay. It's 5 to 3. Yeah.
Oh, oh, where are you based? Remind me.
London.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it started at 2:30 and it finishes at 3 o'clock.
And this is where I had, it's funny because I thought, no, yes. And then I checked the invite that I got and it was for March 19th. And I thought, oh, well, maybe. Anyway, that's happening March 19th. Anyway, here I am. And we'll reschedule anyway. I don't really have any questions at the moment, but.
Yeah. No, we're not in the diary for March 19th. Definitely not. I'm not in the office that day, so I don't know what was happening there. But yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So because if I just set the scene, Sharon, I get a lot of comments from people saying, oh, I'm just like eavesdropping on an interesting conversation with your guests this week while I'm having a cup of coffee. And we do get some questions. Gillian has sent me one or two just about accreditation, helping a career coach. And how is the IAPC&M different to other accreditation bodies? So we will rebook because I gave you such a nice intro and build up. And, I want to give you a half an hour so that we can talk properly. So we'll reschedule that. And I hope your bronchitis is much improved.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am breathing without coughing.
Good.
This is lovely.
Good.
She says.
After this call, I will send you some dates. Well, this proves it's real, everybody. It's real time. So keep your questions for Sharon for another time. I
Will
will get
do.
Sharon back on as soon as we can coordinate our diaries. But as it's 2 minutes to 4, we'll wrap it up now and just say, have a good week, everybody that's tuning into this. And I'll see you next week with another guest. Okay, take care. Thank you. And thank you for your questions. Bye-bye.